grow, we have to have unity, and we have to be a part of the economic savings program. The messenger appeals that all Muslims should put a penny a day to the economic savings program to help fight unemployment, abominable housing, hunger, and nakedness, and the 22 million black people here in America who continue to face these problems. He also says that he says that people around the nation, around the world, sacrifice so they can get their people out of poverty and want. Such as Russia. Russia had a 5-year plan, and Pakistan and other nations did it, or when they did it, they were at the top. And he says we must sacrifice, but he's not asking us to do a whole 5-year plan. Just a 3-year economic savings program.
That's right.
To fight against poverty among our people here in America.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah.
He says we should cut down our wasteful spending.
Yes.
I'm including myself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On high-priced food, we should eat pure and wholesome foods without being extravagant and cut down our extravagances. He says our economic position today in America, it remains at the bottom because of this ineffective leadership throughout America and the so-called Negro leaders. And because so many of our people ignore the basic rules of healthy economic life, we fail to develop a self-leadership in economics.
Right.
The messenger said, if the so-called civil rights leaders are able to do anything, he prefers 4 points. No, point number 1: our knowledge of self, others, and time should force us to become more prudent in our spending, unnecessary spending, by trying to keep pace with the wealthy of this country, has done more to put us on the path of the prodigal son, more than anything else. Let us be taught how to spend and save by those of us who desire to see us out of poverty and want.
Yes, right. That's right.
Number 2, do not be too proud to meet together as leaders and teachers to discuss the solutions of how to stop this reckless downhill fall of our people.
Yes.
Number 3, not one so-called Negro leader seems to want a meeting with not one so-called leader wanted a meeting with the messenger to discuss the plight of our poor people in North America. And number 4, he has set before us a program according to the divine supreme being and his prophet. You will neither produce a better program nor anything to equal it. Your present plans are involved in one of the most disgraceful programs, especially you who boast that you are free and want freedom, justice and equality with your slave masters by sitting, standing, and begging to be accepted as the brothers of those who for 400 years have brought you into your present condition and have made you a people unwanted by the civilized nations of the earth.
That's right.
The messenger also goes on to say how we can make an economic program successful. He says it is hard for economists to plan a wise program and see his plans carried out because the so-called American Negroes' economics are controlled by the white man. The white man owns the country and the industry. He is a manufacturer and producer of everything. Now it is difficult to plan an economic program for dependent people who for all their lives have tried to live like the white man. The messenger says the first steps the so-called Negro wage earners should take is to spend only when necessary and according to their income.
That's right.
He says that because as a people, black people spend more money on stuff they don't need,
Yes.
on what they want and on what they think they need, not on the real necessities and neediness of the homes.
Right.
He says they should save as much of their salaries as possible, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. As we as wage earners should also plan to save something from whatever we are paid. Do not become extravagant spenders like the rich who own the country and everything in it. It is sheer ignorance for us to try to compete in luxury with the owners.
That's right.
Basically, he's saying you can't keep up with the Joneses. Not in America, because we are at the bottom.
Teach.
The messenger says we are at the bottom because of our unhealthy spending.
Yes.
He goes on further to say the economical way to use the money you save is first to buy farmland and produce your own food. You can raise enough cattle, sheep, and cows and chickens by the thousands if you try following our program. The messenger says we should try to purchase real estate, buy farm and timber, convert the timber into lumber, and build homes for yourselves as the white man is doing. Of course, he will have the authority over whether or not to sell you the land. Get clay land with marsh clay land and hill clay. You can make your own bricks. Bricks are inexpensive to make. Once you get your kiln built and tracks laid, the greatest expense would be coal and gas to fire your bricks. Build brick homes for your own people and sell them to your people at a very reasonable price. And try to save your people from unnecessary high-priced buying. Take your cotton to the mills and have it converted to lint. And take the lint to the textile mills and have it converted into cloth. The messenger says we are very smart people, and we have many technicians among us who are about as smart as they come. Why shouldn't they get together and produce something for ourselves?
That's right.
Good question.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
He goes on to say, we are the righteous, and it should not be hard for us to do something for ourselves if we unite. We do not need to unite and then go fight some other nations to get their country. He said we should not have to fight another nation to get their country. That will not be necessary. Come follow me, and I will show you how to do this without having to shed a drop of blood. Shedding blood for something that you are divinely just and having is not necessary. The messenger teaches that the world is ours. The world belongs to the black man.
Yes, sir.
So, fighting to get what's rightfully ours, we should not have to do it.
Right.
In the economic program, part 2, it says, as I have noted previously, on matters of economics, there is entirely too much distrust among us.
Yes.
We trust everyone but ourselves.
Yes.
We therefore have to build or produce trust in ourselves in order to do something for self and kind. We cannot depend upon the white man to continue to care for us and build a future of good for us and our children. Right now, the white man is barely able to do anything for his own self.
Yes, sir.
The jobs are declining, which means black people, the black nation has to learn to build their own businesses and grow as a unit, in unity and as a nation.
Yes,
So we can better ourselves and become higher in the ladder.
Yes, sir.
sir.
That's right.
That's right.
He says we are limited to our job salaries and incomes by the white man, but you still can learn not to be reckless and wasteful spenders and happy-go-lucky people with nothing of your own. He says the hardest times are before those. He says the hardest times are before those of you who will not accept this program and follow the way of Allah and Islam.
Yes, sir.
Guide you and set you in heaven at once, with money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. In order to get these things, we must come together. In order to get these things, we basically have to have unity. If we don't have unity within our nation, we won't be respected around the world as a godly nation. So in order to be respected as a godly nation, we got to come together in unity and try to make something for ourselves.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Good teaching.
He says, begging and praying to the white man to accept you, his once abject slave and now willing slave, and give you the things he is giving himself and his kind is really out of place today. The white man claims he has given you freedom. He feels that he is not responsible for your poverty since you have had 100 years on your own. He believes that if you do not like him, you should have left him. And if you do not like him today, you should leave him. You do not want to leave him because of your great desire for his will. This classifies you as being lazy. And people who do not want to accept their own responsibility. Think it over, my friend. basically he's saying that the white man never wanted us, and he doesn't want us now. But we keep trying to integrate with the devil. So we keep trying to integrate with the devil, which is causing us to fall back, and it's making us even lazier.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Because we're already lazy because most of us don't want to work.
Yes, right.
So we really have to do something for ourselves. He goes on to say, beware of the national elections. My black brothers and sisters, there is no salvation in them for you. Only false promises. The only salvation for you and me now is in unity and being under the guidance of Allah through His messenger and His program for us all. Even with Barack Obama in office, we still have nothing.
That's right.
That's right.
Of course, yeah, he's a black president, but he's a puppet.
That's right.
I was told by Minister Allah that if America wasn't the way it was now, Obama would not be in office.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's it, brother?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to the Lord. Give Brother Desmond